Alright, before we look at new stuff, which is really kind of like the graduation material, final exam of 16th note patterns, I think it'd be a good idea if you went back and listened to the recording stuff that you sent me. When you count off your 1, 2, 3, 4, you begin playing at a completely different tempo. So if you were to ever be in a band situation, or if you're going to play to some kind of backing track or something that is counted off at a specific speed, if you're not able to lock onto that speed that is counted off, there will definitely be some timing issues that happen, because you're going to have at least two different people playing at different speeds. So the other thing is, like, if you are the person who is counting off a song and you count off the tempo, and everyone's establishing what it is you're counting off, and then you start playing at a completely different tempo, then both of you will be out of sync. It will be confusing and can definitely lead to some frustrating moments. So what I noticed, I guess I'm going to have the camera on my face while I'm talking since I ain't playing yet. What I also noticed was, like, the first two rhythms. Let's see, almost every time you had like the 1 E and like that second strum that you do was almost always early, but the rest of it seemed okay, which is interesting because the very last rhythm, the one I believe is actually a bit more challenging, when you started playing, that was more solid. That was pretty solid, actually. So I don't know, maybe it was just one of those things of having to need to get warmed up a little bit before you kind of really got in the groove of it. I think overall you understand it well enough to move on. But those are some things I wanted to point out so you can go back, listen to it, and see if you pick up on what I'm talking about. So this way you cultivate a better understanding and awareness of what it is that you're doing, because the more awareness that you have of what you do enables you to be a far better player. The wasted years, everything sounded good, so just keep doing what you're doing, bump up the metronome slowly still, and you'll have that up to speed. So like I mentioned earlier, the two rhythm things we're going to do today are like the graduation pieces for the 16th notes. So once these are down, we'll be moving on to triplets, where we divide the beat by 3. So no more even counting, it's going to be odd number counting. So when we start doing it, though, we'll be starting with very basic stuff with the triplets, so it'll be kind of like a break, a little bit of a break for the old brain before we start building it up into more difficult things. But that's good, because triplets are really the last thing that we're going to go over subdivision-wise. So we are approaching the end of rhythm training. Alright, so we got every bar is different for every one of these, so let's get to it. Yeah, alright, so I'll count off, and let's see how well I do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a E, a 2 and E, a 4 E and 2 and a E and 4 and 1 E, a 2 and a E and 4, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a E, a 2 and E, a 4 E and 2 and a E and 4 and 1 E, a 2 and a E and 4. So there's the first. Now let's see how well I do the last one. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, I'll go over some things we've talked about before to help with this, just to make sure you are armed with all the tools necessary to be a badass rhythm player. Obviously, some of these bars are fairly simple, especially the first one. You're just straight strumming. Some of these are just ridiculous. So, we've talked about getting one bar down at a time. So you can do one bar at a time. And then let's say you get the first bar down of, let's say you're working on the second one. I think the second rhythm is the more challenging one. So let's say you work on the first bar, and then you work on the second bar, and then you just work on the first and second together. So that's one approach where you can do each one individually, and then do like the first and second, then the second, third and fourth, and then the fourth and first one. You can practice. I think you were just kind of like doing a fake strum before. That seemed to help, if I remember correctly. So you can do that again. And yeah, just practice counting it. Like if you watch the video of this when I'm playing and counting, something that might help just to really kind of drill in what the rhythm is just count along with me, or do your strum, or whatever works for you to kind of follow along. Usually I'll just tap something, but of course that's kind of awkward sometimes too, maybe because I've just been air drumming for many years. Fantastic air drummer, can't apply it to the real drums very well though. It's quite different. These I realize right now they're going to be challenging. Most likely, I'm assuming they are, but who knows? Maybe you'll take to them real well. But yeah, I think this sums up all the 16th note stuff pretty well. And then yeah, once you get this, we're going to move on to triplets, and that's the last thing that we're going to be looking at rhythm-wise. And then we get to move on to other things. So, no, it's coming along well. Yeah, just let me know if you have any questions. And so the 5th, July 5th, plan on seeing you then. Hope the vacation is going well and everyone's having fun. And hey, maybe you can get the whole family to sing along with you while you play this stuff. I'd like to see that. Alright, we'll see you when you get back.